Stories of struggle, stories of life.
What's up, everybody? Cappuccino here at another episode of Let's Talk Local. Listen, if you like what you see here today, go to the old Google box, YouTube, 216 Creator Studios. Like, share, subscribe, ding that bell for the future notification. If you like what you see, put it in the comments. If you don't like what you see, put it in the comments. We always want to improve the show. We're never afraid to do that. Nico here behind the booth. Say hi, Nico.
Hey, everyone.
Listen, we've been doing this, Nico, for a while now, and we always have some of the coolest, most exciting people that come into the show.
Oh, we
like today, we're talking with Peter Neal. Peter is saving the world, one, maybe two people at a time. I love seeing the superpowers come out of people. Talking with him in the green room, it's just been, we've been, I know you were like, man, these guys no. Cappuccino's equal.
Now I'm just super excited for this episode because I already know it's just going to be amazing.
It is. Welcome to the show.
Oh, thank you. Happy to be here.
Thanks. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So tell us a little bit about where you started and then what business you're into now and how long that's been around and the name of the business.
Yeah. Well, where I started was right here in Crystal Lake. Okay. My family moved here in 1990. And so I'm a Crystal Lake local. And
a Crystal Lakean? Is that what we call them?
Yeah,
Crystal
indeed.
Lakeans?
Indeed. But
nice.
I didn't always, I haven't lived here since 1990.
Okay.
Something we didn't talk about in the green room, even though we covered a lot.
Right.
As an elder millennial, I need to have two careers. And so my first career was actually in humanitarian aviation.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And so I spent 7 years on the island of Borneo, which is in Indonesia, flying small airplanes and supporting isolated jungle villages with medical evacuations.
That's a movie waiting to happen right there.
For sure.
Holy cow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was a very adventurous season of my life. And I moved over there with my wife and my son. And so they've got some overseas experience too. But we were there from 2012 to 2019. And so we're happy to be back here in Crystal Lake.
Nice. So 2019 hit. That was probably a little bit of a culture shock, right? Because of the COVID-19 thing.
We got back just in time for COVID.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. Now you went from all that exploring to we have to stay in our house.
Which was, we went from flying above the Borneo or the Borneo jungle to now we're holed up in our house living with my mom again. So
wow.
Yeah.
Hold on. Yep. No.
Different environment.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep.
But coming to the end of my time working with the humanitarian aviation organization, I always kind of knew that I was better with people than I was with airplanes, even though I never broke or crashed anything over there. And that's because my dad, he's a clinical psychologist and he's been working here in Crystal Lake, since 1989. So
wow. Long time. So he was the inspiration for me to pivot into a different helping profession. Okay.
Which is counseling psychology.
So when you were flying planes over jungles, did you already have a degree in the other side of the business that you're in now?
Yeah. Okay. I finished my undergraduate degree in psychology in tandem with all my technical training. Gotcha. So that was it was a lot of school all at once.
Yeah. Smart move though.
It seems to be. It worked out.
Yeah. Well, you're like, that's where I'm at now. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
What's the name of the business?
So we are Neal Psychological Specialists. And like I said, we've been here in Crystal Lake since 1989.
Where in Crystal Lake are you?
Everybody kind of knows where the Little Caesars is.
Yes.
Yeah. So Main Street and Route 14.
Nice.
Behind the Little Caesars, there's a group of what looks to be like townhomes.
Yeah.
But it's a bunch of professional offices.
Oh, okay.
So we've been there for a couple of decades or a few decades now. But we also have offices in Barrington, West Dundee, and in St. Charles.
So, let's move into the business side a little bit of it. So what are you guys specialists in certain things, or how does that work?
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for asking, because that's a big part of our name. Mental health private practices right now. It's a great time for mental health in general.
Yeah.
Accessibility is way up, stigma is way down, and so a lot of people are getting the mental health support that maybe was a bit stigmatized, a couple decades ago. But there's a lot of private practices in Crystal Lake. And so one of the ways that we are a little bit different is right in the name. We consider ourselves specialists. All of our clinicians are required to get additional certification beyond just the academic training and beyond just the experiential work that you need to do every year as a therapist. And so I don't just consider the therapists on my clinical team as therapists. They've done a lot more training.
A lot more unique than that.
Yeah. To do, they've done more training to become specialists in the work that they do. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So as a specialist, is it specializing in ABC areas, or is it in general to certain diagnosis?
Yes, all the above.
Okay.
So we have clinicians who are specialized in a certain demographic,
okay,
like kids or couples. We have clinicians who are specialized in certain diagnosis.
Okay.
So ADHD or OCD or anxiety disorders. And we also have clinicians that are specialized in particular modalities or tools. And just as, for instance, my specialization is in a particular trauma modality known as internal family systems. So to answer your question, all the above.
Yes.
We have 15 clinicians now, or 15 specialists, and so they all have some area of specialty in addition to a lot of other things that they do.
Well, because it's such a broad spectrum when we say the words mental health, right? So that could be anything from PTSD to you name whatever the initials are. It could be anything, but specializing in certain amounts of them versus just I don't know. Is there such a thing as a basic therapist? I don't even know. How does that work?
Yeah, I don't want to sound pejorative or judgmental.
No.
But most therapists that like if you were to pluck one therapist out of most of the mental health practices in this area, odds are pretty good you would pluck out of that group a generalist. Like,
got you.
And basic
doesn't mean they're bad at what they do.
No,
it just means that they're
no.
not really specializing in one thing or the other.
Right. And that could be a very good fit for most people.
Sure.
But the way that our brand differentiates is that I want to be on a team. I want to work with clinicians who are like really good at what they do. And it's very similar to the group of pilots that I flew with in Indonesia. These are not airline pilots.
No.
Airline pilots are great, right? I mean, they have a particular set of skill and they do their work really well. But like the team that I worked with in Indonesia, it was a very small team of specialists. They were highly trained to do this particular type of flying.
Okay.
So that translates into the type of team that I want to and have built.
I like that.
Yeah.
It makes sense.
Yeah. It's a group of specialists.
Yeah. And the planes that you guys flew, obviously, as an airline pilot, it's the city bus carrying all these passengers.
Yeah, which is necessary.
Correct.
Absolutely important and necessary.
And and I would have to say that being a specialist, which you did over jungle, certain weathers. Were they single prop? Was it Cessna? Right.
Yeah.
So all that kind of comes into play. And hey, be careful, they're going over there. Microbursts, macrobursts. I mean, there's a bunch of different things that kind of comes into play, right?
But particularly the terrain, and then also the conditions of the airstrips, which were very short, gravel, dirt, grass. So,
up and down.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
You gotta get up. You gotta get down.
Inclines,
right.
Yeah. All that. So there is a transfer of concept.
I love that because there is a train, and you made it sound so simple. You're brilliant at this.
Oh wow!
Obviously,
I don't think anyone's ever called me brilliant.
I did. When Cappuccino says it's
okay.
I don't know. It sounded right. So how you carry that over into this practice, right? It makes a lot of sense. So we mentioned a little bit in the green room. There's a 3-step process to something. You wanted to bring it up.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. So I've had therapy experiences. I know that you've had some therapy experiences, and that goodness of fit with a therapist is really important. Whether they are a generalist in what they do, or if they are a specialist in what they do, or somewhere in between, boy, that goodness of fit makes all the difference for a client experience.
Yeah.
Usually, clients are not well informed on how they can navigate that goodness of fit for themselves.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Or to put it another way, a very business way, therapy clients are usually not good consumers of therapy.
True.
It's a bit of a black box in there. You walk in, here's the therapist. Right. They're the professional. They've got the diplomas on the wall. So, what they're saying, holds a lot of weight.
Correct.
But I wanted to offer something today that might inform somebody who is looking for therapy, how they can be a better consumer of it.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
So this is not my concept, what I'm about to explain here. So I didn't come up with this. This was given to me by one of my mentors, and it has really helped me as a consumer myself with therapy, and then also as clients come in, helping them understand, well, what are they looking for?
Okay.
So therapy can be one way of understanding what's going on in the therapy room is there's like 3 levels to therapy. So you said 3 steps. It could be considered 3 steps too.
Okay.
Yeah.
3 levels. We'll go with that.
Level 1 therapy is all about what we call the therapeutic alliance. Do you feel aligned with your therapist? Do you feel like you can trust them? Do you feel like it's a place where you can talk about what's going on in your life? Is that therapist doing a good job listening, reflecting back what they're hearing, offering some insight? Is the relationship good? This level 1 stuff is really important because sometimes for some people, the therapy space is the only space that they have to share and talk and be believed.
I like that.
Yeah.
It will, let's take 3 steps backwards a little bit. So first of all, therapy can be very intimidating
for sure
for a consumer because the instant negative reaction when you're like, you need to see therapy. It's like, oh, something's wrong with me, right?
Yeah.
Instead of realizing that it's just a vetting post to help you, and someone else can give you ideas and perceptions to help your mindset.
Yeah.
Right. And so, and when you learn these things as you've gone through all this schooling, you have the tools to do that, where someone doesn't know how to do that on their own. They just do what I do. And that's suck it down and push it as far down as possible so you can put more in there.
Yeah.
So that's number 1. And then coming in is, and we have discussed this, is being comfortable. It's okay to not be comfortable because most things never get accomplished when you are comfortable. It's a little bit when you're outside of your comfort.
Yeah, sure. A little challenge. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. On that cutting edge.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that first step of being uncomfortable, to find the right fit, the right person that's going to either listen, not just feed you a bunch of drugs and go, see me next week and bring your insurance card.
Sure.
Right. So that's kind of important. And I love how you say that the consumer doesn't know what their part is in order to participate.
Yes.
Or the giving to that of saying, hey, here's the experience. This is what I'm going through. What can I do?
Yeah.
Or what are the right questions to ask in the beginning to kind of get knowledge back to build that relationship? Because I'm a relationship builder.
Yeah.
I think relationship building is huge because right off the bat, you learn how to read a room pretty well. And not only that, you find who's a good fit for you. Now, is the right fit the person that's going to agree with you on everything?
No.
Probably not.
No.
Right?
Sometimes you need that.
You
that rub,
absolutely
right?
need the diversity. That little bit of, nope, I don't agree with that.
Yeah,
and let me tell you why, though. There's an explanation for it.
Yeah.
I remember as a kid, my father would say, no, and I'd say, why? And he'd say, because I said so.
Okay, helpful.
The old because I said so clause. Well, what I didn't realize until later in life was my father didn't have an answer. So because I said so was the answer to get me to just be quiet.
Yeah.
and then know that down the line I'd probably figure it out.
Mhm.
You know, don't touch the hot stove. Well, why? Because I said so.
And
it'll burn.
yeah,
It'll hurt, right? And some people like me who are a little bit compulsive, addictive personality will be like, let me touch that stove again and see if it's still hot.
Let's find out again.
Right. So I think that really matters, the right fit. And it sounds like you guys have a great system for that.
Yeah. And it's in that level 1 stuff where you find out is this a good fit? But it's also in the level 1 work where you're just talking to your therapist and they're repeating back and reflecting, and they're showing some empathy, all these basic counseling skills that are really, really important. But I've heard the critique of somebody leaves a therapy office and they're like, what did we just do? Like, they just listened to me for the 53 minutes. Nothing happened. Right. Okay, well, that therapist is hanging out in level 1 therapy. This is where level 2 comes in. Level 2 therapy is symptom management. Now the therapist is really getting in there and they're doing something. The therapist is offering some homework. They're teaching some skills. They're offering some coping strategies. So if you want to support and manage your ADHD, or if you want some homework and how to work through your OCD and how it impacts, your home life, this is where the therapist is actually like, okay, now we want to reduce the anxiety symptoms. We want to reduce the depression symptoms. It's not just, I come in and I talk to my therapist. This level 2 stuff, okay, now you're getting in there and you're getting into some of the nuts and bolts. And that's what some clients need.
Man, that's awesome. This is a really eye-opening experience for me listening to you say this. Because there are different experiences with different people. Some people do very similar to the next. It could be wash, rinse, repeat, because there's a proven fact and a scientific fact that it works.
Yeah.
And then there's some people have to be off the beaten path a little bit in order to be like, I think I relate to that. Relatability is possibly an important part of that, getting to know your therapist. I like how you say, I want to back up a little bit. So you mentioned to me, is like, you did mention, is like, well, when somebody, as you say something, they just repeat it back to you. What is the purpose of the repeat back, just out of curiosity?
Yeah. Okay. So a reflection, and I say repeating back or parroting back, that's the critical way to put it.
And I've heard it. That's why I'm asking,
Yeah. The reflection is important because to hear what you're saying, or the sense that you're making, to hear it from a different perspective can be really powerful. And we see this casually sometimes, where maybe maybe we have a partner who is giving the same criticism over and over and over again, but then the best buddy says it, right? Oh, it lands. Oh, and then the partner's like, I've been saying this for years. Okay, so you bring that same repetition in your mind, that sense making, that meaning that you're making up here, and you put it out into a room with a therapist or maybe even a friend, but a therapist is trained to reflect that back. And when they do, that's coming this way now.
Got you.
It's not just clicking around up here. That perspective shift can bring insight.
That's awesome that you say that. And the reason I asked that question is because I never understood. I'm just like, I paid for a parrot.
Right.
All they're doing is repeating everything I just said. But it makes plenty of sense too. If I say something and somebody's like, did you just hear what you said?
Yeah.
And so in turn, if it's said back and I'm like, well, this doesn't sound right. Right. So let's dig into it, right? Yeah. Now I understand it. Now I like it. That makes, I wish people would explain that more. There was more of an explanation to that. So, hey, folks, and you're going to get a pointer today on how to reset. He's going to give you that pointer.
Okay. Yeah, I'll say that for the end.
Yeah, we're going to say that for the end.
Yeah.
That is free. So let's talk about mom, dad, family business, complete family business.
Ooh, should I wrap up with the third level?
Did we not do the third level? We did do it. I'm sorry.
We got through the 2 levels, and so we've got a third level here. And if level 1 is about the therapeutic alliance, your relationship with the therapist, you feel Like it's a safe place. There's a good rapport, that goodness that fit is happening.
Yep.
Okay, that's level 1. It's great for a lot of people.
Yep.
Some people want something more nuts and bolts. And now we're into the symptom management.
Okay.
Level 3 has everything to do with trauma resolution.
Ooh.
So long as we're not talking about something biological, like a chemical imbalance,
Sure.
Anxiety comes from someplace.
Yep.
Depression comes from someplace.
Would you say those are tied together usually?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. In some ways.
Okay.
But that anxiety that we're trying to manage in level 2, the depression that we're trying to manage in level 2 is never resolved with just symptom management. We want to get into the thing under the thing. And there are only certain modalities in mental health that really get down into that trauma space to heal.
Okay.
And this is where, in some ways, specialists come in, because most graduates of a master's degree program in mental health, they know how to be a good level 1 therapist. They have those basic clinical skills. They'll listen to you. They'll reflect back. They'll be empathetic. Many of them have additional training in that symptom management stuff. Great. Okay. But it really takes a skilled therapist who knows what they're doing to get down into the trauma space to then resolve the thing that is then producing a certain amount of that anxiety, producing a certain amount of that depression and other pathologies.
So that's digging out the dirt.
There we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. Getting at the root.
Yeah. Getting at the root.
The thing under the thing.
Right.
The thing under the thing.
I love it. I'm glad you stopped me and said, we forgot the thing. That's the most important thing.
That's the important one. So as a consumer of therapy, this can be a very helpful way to know to ask for what it is that you want when you sit down with your therapist. And maybe they don't know what level 1, level 2, level 3 is. Sure. That's just a general conceptual way to hold it. But you may be able to go in there now and say, hey, listen, I don't want you to just reflect back to me and believe me and empathize with me. I actually want some symptom management here for the thing that I'm dealing with.
Let's play ping pong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Here's what I want. Or you can say, you know what? I know I got a thing under the thing here.
Right.
I'm anxious about something. I'm depressed about something, so on and so forth. And I just really feel like that goes back to something. And I just don't want to chit chat.
Yeah.
Like I want to be able to go deep. Can you do that?
How do I find it?
There we go. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully that's helpful to some people.
No, that's awesome. Oh, it's just helpful to me.
Yeah.
Sweet. So where was I going? Oh yeah.
The business end.
Yeah. Whole family?
My dad and my brother.
Your dad and your brother. Okay. And so now that you're part in this, you've been doing this with them for how long now?
Yeah. So I came on board with my dad and my brother in 2019 when we came back from Indonesia.
COVID thing, right?
Yeah.
And so, how has business been? I mean, because I think after COVID, there was a huge call.
Yeah.
Right. In the space of mental health. And, growing up in the 80s and the early 90s, mental health was like, stop being a pansy.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I was there.
Thing, right?
Yeah, I was there.
And now it's like, no, there's a thing. And we need to figure out the thing and resolve the thing so you can live lighter.
Yeah.
Better. Yeah. And be able to move forward. And I think moving forward is hard for certain people to do, especially after like serious tragedy that happened in their lives. And listen, some people's tragedy might not be as worse as or as good as others, but it's still tragedy. Yeah. And to them, it's still the world's ending.
Well, can I pause you on that?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, because talk about tragedy or talk about trauma. There's also sorts of ways to understand. Well, what does that mean? But the way that you're talking about it, I think is really important because it is fairly subjective.
Yeah.
The way that I understand trauma, or my definition of trauma, or when a client is telling their story, the way that I hold that is trauma is anything that we weren't ready for, or we weren't supported through, or we didn't have the wisdom to navigate.
Right.
And so that puts it in this very subjective place where there are people who grow up in war zones and they're resilient through it.
That's right.
Like they survive it. They were supported through it to a certain degree. Maybe in some ways they were ready for it. And then you've got somebody who gets made fun of on a playground
Mm.
and it just like sets them on a course.
Right.
They weren't ready for that, for whatever it was. They weren't supported through it. They didn't have the maturity or the wisdom to navigate that in a way where it wasn't impactful for them.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So I like how you were talking about tragedy in terms of it being subjective. Yeah.
Well, right. I mean, well, it was brought to my attention once, my brother, who was my mentor, when I would complain about, to me, it was such a big deal.
Yeah.
I would complain to him. He was my vetting post, and he'd be like, yeah, listen, so just know that your absolute worst day is somebody's best day.
Also true.
And he's like, did you have to wake up in a militia, kill your parents, and, go to the next town and do that all over? He's like, no, your complaint is you didn't, blah, blah, blah on that business trip. He's like, you get through it, and then the perception that I would get after he would say that, I'm like, wow, so simple. And yes, why am I complaining? And I do believe that it's hard to be grateful and hateful at the same time. So I try to stick on the grateful side of things and go, man, I was a little lift up my handle and water came out my faucet today, and find the things that we take for granted a little bit. And I relive that a little bit and go, yes, my problems are still problems. I get that. But yet I will make it through those minute little problems. It's really not world ending. My family's healthy. We're, things are going in a great direction. It's just knowing the divide between the need and the want kind of scenario. So,
but can it be both? Like, can it be all the above, where something happens and there is a part of us that hates that thing that happened because it actually mattered?
Yeah.
But then there can be another part of us that is like a little bit more resilient. Like,
yes.
Yeah, actually, okay, things are pretty good. And being with both at the same time, that is part of the work that I do, of being
100%.
Being with the parts of us that.
And I do believe that
yeah.
regardless of the good or the bad or whatever side of the yin you're leaning towards, I do believe that tragedy is still there. Trauma is still there. And can still be handled and being taken care of, regardless of how bad or how good you might think it is in your life.
Yeah.
It might not be as bad as Joe's, but that
it was bad for you.
It was bad for you.
Yeah.
So getting help to get through it is okay.
Yeah.
And I think that's where my generation, I'm a Gen Xer.
Okay.
My generation is stubborn. We're like, we don't need hope. We're perfect. Because we were told to suck it up, buttercup, and a lot of things that, that's why I feel for a long time, it was like, oh, you got to go see a therapist. It's like, you're all right. No, I think everybody does. I think there's something in everybody's life that can use extra help. And therapy doesn't have to be, your trained therapist, but talking to somebody.
Yeah.
Doing something about it is already the steps in the right direction.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but now that we have, do you feel like we label everything too much nowadays?
Oh, yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too. And maybe one, if I could get up on a soapbox here, just on something.
Absolutely, please.
My opinion and judgment is that labeling and therapy speak outside of the therapy room, I don't know how helpful that is.
I agree.
So just as a for instance, therapy speak is all over social media, right? When
it's almost a trend.
Yeah. Good point. So wait, let me back up.
Okay.
When a therapist uses a therapy term with another therapist, that's great. They both know what they're talking about.
Correct.
When a therapist uses a therapy term with a client, they should be thoughtful about that. Does the client really understand what that is? Okay, there needs to be some psychoeducation there before there's a label that's thrown out or a concept. When a client or a client or just a person who's not a therapist uses a therapy term with another regular person, another non-therapist, now we're getting into a space of like, well, what does narcissism mean to you?
Right.
What does narcissism mean to me? Like, what are we actually talking about? If one therapist
self-defining what the definition is.
Yeah, we're moving
Right.
away from the utility of
Correct.
what this word is. So therapist to therapist talking about narcissism. Oh yeah, we know what we're talking about here. Therapist to client. Okay, let's make sure we know what we're talking about because it's in the context of therapy. Non-therapist to non-therapist. Okay, now are we kind of weaponizing a word when we don't really know?
Well, yes, and I'm glad that you're on your soapbox about that because I feel the same way. You know, and listen, I don't know. Those are $1 million words for me. Let's
Sure.
just start there.
Uh-huh.
You know, I use words like stuff and junk. So at the same time, I see a lot of kids self-diagnosing. And I'm like, you know, please don't mistake that guy's degree for Google.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Mhm.
You know, because you get good information from the internet. I understand
Sure,
that, but
yeah.
you understand what you're actually reading and how your perception of what that definition is might mean something else. And the labels of things and then listen, I'm not a therapist. I'm not going to pretend to be one, but I do know that if you measure something, you care about it. If
Sure.
you label it, you become it. So if you are labeling yourself as something that you're not even diagnosed by a professional with, and or if you're labeling yourself, even if you are diagnosed as that, you're utilizing that as a crutch to something else and you're capping yourself for success.
Words are powerful.
Correct. They are powerful.
Yeah.
They can hold you back from doing greatness. I have a member of my family who's in the spectrum of OCPD. And then in our 504 plan meeting, she was told that she was going to run the meeting, which I was like, no, she's not. And then it was pretty much, we want you to read off your diagnosis. And I was like, we don't do that. I go, as a matter of fact, at home, we don't even talk about her label. We just say, you're not broken, you're just different.
Yeah.
Because truly, that's what it is. You're not broken, you're just different. And there's different ways to get around. Everybody's got something. And if you say that I am ABC, then you're put yourself in a corner full of ABCs, and then you feel like you can't do anything because you're ABC.
Yeah. Labels heavy. Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
So it's okay to be now in the world. We have gender issues. We have all these things, and it's okay for you to be you. Stop labeling yourself. You're capping yourself.
There are entire modalities of mental health modalities that are non-pathologizing.
Can you define modality for me?
Modality is like a tool.
Okay.
Like what tool are we using to attend to the mental health challenge?
I got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And there's
for those out there too, just like me, I didn't understand.
Yeah. There's over 400 modalities. There are some really big ones that a lot of us have heard about, like CBT, DBT, EMDR, there's all these acronyms that we use for the different tools.
Got you.
And they all sort of approach the same thing from different
angles.
Yeah, angles. So it's not just the personality and the training of the therapist. It's what tools are they using that all kind of go into the goodness of fit. This is why it's so hard to find a therapist that is a good fit sometimes.
Right. And what might be good for one might not be good for the next.
Absolutely.
Because everybody runs in variable.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I love that. Crazy, no pun intended. You're fun. I love having you on this show.
Thanks. Yeah.
Wow. I mean, wow. Time goes by pretty quick. Listen, I appreciate you being on the show.
Yeah.
Was there anything, first and foremost, how do people get a hold of you?
Okay. So you can either call our office. Our phone number is 815-477-4727. We just launched a new website. We just revamped it. So it took about a whole year to tear it down to the bones and relaunch it. We're pretty proud of it. And that's www.nealps.com.
Nealps.com.
Yeah. So that's short for Neal Psychological Specialist.
Gotcha. That would make sense.
Yeah, nealps.com. So those are the two best ways to get in touch with us.
That's awesome. And folks, if you didn't write that down, go to the old QR code right here. It's going to take you right to his website where all of his contact information is. Also check the description below. There will be links in there that goes right to you. Love having you on the show. I wish there was more time to keep going. I could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
You are fun. Anything else that you would like to add before we go?
I feel like this is complete.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me throw out my therapeutic session for you, and then I'm going to let you do your trick.
Please.
To tell everybody a quick tip, right?
Yeah.
You've done a lot from different journeys to where you're at now. If you had the opportunity to go back to your 8-year-old self and give some advice, what would it be?
Wow. That is a great question.
I do take Blue Cross Blue Shield, by the way. I'm just kidding.
So do I. Yeah, it's all right. No, that's so good. I'd say, you know what? We were talking about this just before we got on, started rolling here. I wish I would have been a better listener. Yeah. I don't think I had the ears to hear
me neither.
half the stuff that was just like right in front of me for so long, season after season. A lot of that really good stuff, you know, you kind of have to learn for ourselves or whatever. But yeah, if I went back to my 8-year-old self, I'd say be a better listener. But who knows how? I don't think I would have listened.
No, well, I mean, listen, we're talkers. When you're talking, you're not listening.
Yeah.
So that kind of falls into that play. But you know, as my business partner would always say too, he's like, I got in trouble because I wouldn't close my mouth half the time. Now that's what I do for a living. Yeah. You know, that's what we do. We podcast. So that's awesome. Now, one tip in the industry. What do you got?
Yeah. Well, what was funny is that I was not planning on sharing this during the podcast, but I just like walked.
I loved it though. So I'm going to make you do it.
Yeah. Thanks for putting me on the spot
people
here.
Out there.
Yeah. So I felt a little bit nervous about coming in here and shooting this. I do talk for a living, but it's never like in front of cameras and you know, it's just like with 1 or 2 people at a time. So I was feeling some bit of nervousness about this. And
I couldn't tell, by the way.
Well, I was hiding it really well. But something that we can take from the animal kingdom is that there are a lot of different animals that will shake to reset their nervous system. And dogs do this all the time. You will see a dog shake to get, you know, water off of them after they take a bath. But if they're ever in some sort of a tussle or they go through some sort of challenge, or if they are in a state of tenseness, if you ever see a dog shake, they're literally resetting their nervous system. And so when I walked in here, I walked in and I shook, and I instantly felt, you know, kind of observed about that. So I talked through this little tip.
It's a great reset.
Yeah. So I felt like, okay, I kind of got my nerves settled. I feel like my nervous system is reset. So now I'm sitting down and ready to talk.
Great. It's great advice. Free advice, guys. Hey, listen, if you're bothered, shake it off.
Yeah.
I'm Drew Cappuccino here with Peter. It was great having you on the show. Listen, we're always willing to talk local, but we're going to listen global.
Every story's worth a little bliss. From the heart of the town to the open air, let's talk local, we're taking you there. 216 Creator Studios, where the magic starts. Local businesses, their real work of arts. From the cafe